What is up? Welcome back to Men on the Internet. My name is Sunil. Across the way, I got
Kerbin.
To the
Right.
I don't know what angle this is. Diagonal of me.
Sure.
We got
Breathe.
and we have a beautiful guest for part two.
Part two.
If you were watching us last week, we introduced the world to, or at least the Men on the Internet podcast world, to Miss Danielle. The beautiful, beautiful Miss Danielle. She's back. She liked us enough to come back for a second episode. Welcome back, Miss Danielle.
Thank you.
How was your week?
It was good.
Wonderful.
I like the hoodie. Actually, did you get a chance to when they had the Tupac exhibit in
That's
LA?
where this is from.
It looked exactly
went to
like
that
it.
too.
It
Yeah,
was from the Tupac exhibit.
it was
Mhm.
fire.
Mm-hmm.
I still have
really
like
loved it.
all kinds of pictures on my phone from it. It was one of the coolest experiences. And then now they did the documentary
On Hulu.
on Hulu, and it was so similar to the stuff from the
Are
exhibit.
you watching the documentary?
I just seen some of the clips,
Mhm.
but I haven't watched it all the way through. No.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I recommend it. I have I think 2 more episodes. Oh, I have 2 more episodes left, but that's about it.
Sick.
I'm
Sick.
I'm actually kind of holding on to those last 2 episodes because it's towards the end of his life and where
Yeah.
he is, and it's good. And right now it has a really, really high score on Rotten Tomatoes. I hope it stays that way because
I'm sure it will.
It's
Tupac
really
is
great.
golden, man. He was able to be loved by so many different demographics, people, all that kind of stuff. Because I think whether or not you agreed with his message or what he understood him, whatever, I think everybody could tell he's super authentic, and people are drawn to that type of authenticity. So definitely shout out the Tupac doc. I need to watch it. Have you watched it, Chris?
Mm-mm.
I haven't seen Tupac guy, but I went to the exhibit and then I went to the Biggie one.
When was the Biggie one?
2021.
Oh,
Yeah, that was also really good. It was Biggie, but it was really like New York rap.
gotcha.
Yeah, so it was like one big room of Biggie and then like 5 big rooms of everybody else.
Was it the same way that the Tupac one was, where they gave you the headphones and you could point and click at?
No,
Uh,
no, it was kind of museum vibe.
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. But-
Cool. Well, great segue from what we're talking about. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, we're still on content, so we might as well just stay on there real quick.
Still on what content?
Like we're still TV shows, movies. If you saw anything,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So recently came out was White Man Can't Jump,
White Man Can't
the
Jump.
remake with our boy Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow.
Had anybody seen it?
I've not seen it yet.
Have you seen the original?
I have seen the original.
What do you think about the original?
I mean, I was young. I watched. I think when did the original White Man Can't Jump come out?
92.
Like 68.
I know. Back when
Was it
Snipes,
92?
Back when
92.
Snipes didn't have money issues,
Mhm.
I have to.
And
I have
Woody
to Google
Harrelson,
now.
right?
and Woody Harrelson had
Woody
hair.
Harrelson.
1992. You're right. I was in the
I'm
second
always right.
grade.
Second grade.
So yeah.
Oh.
For sure. I was one way out from entering the world.
Exactly.
had 1 year
1992. What? I was 9. So what's that? Second grade.
Something like that, yeah.
There you go.
Yo.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Chris, you saw it.
I did. I
Go
watched
ahead.
it.
You jump. Did you like the first original?
So I watched the first one right after the new one.
Oh,
Was that
okay.
the
'Cause I
first
had
time you had seen it?
I had seen pieces. I hadn't seen the whole thing.
Okay.
And I know why, because it was rather longer than I thought it was. A lot more happens than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I liked the first one. It was cool. It had much more of a structured, happy ending story
Yeah.
versus the original, which was just like, hey, these guys need money. Here we go.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought Jack Harlow did a pretty good job. I think the rest of the cast did a really good job too. I don't really think I had a bad thing to say. I now know who Tiana Taylor is. Don't come at me now. I
You
figured
didn't
it
know
out.
before?
She looked
I just-
good too.
I don't keep up with anything.
I love me
The
some
world.
Tiana Taylor.
She's gonna win awards. Tiana Taylor is so incredibly talented.
Yeah.
Mark my words, if
She gets with the
depending
right
on
team.
how things shake out with the way that Hollywood is going right now, this is Tiana Taylor's moment. She is the next it star. 1001 came out couple months ago, and she was amazing in that.
Mhm.
She has a couple of other movies that are coming out later on this year. She is
She
so
was in Coming
talented.
to America too.
Oh, was she?
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
So should she have been the Little Mermaid?
No. No.
You wildin'. All right, let's get back to the topic here. Kelby hijacks this shit like he does every other.
No.
All right, so I've watched both. I love the first original Why Men Can't Jump. My worry going into this movie was they were gonna do a complete like exactly the same storyline and all that kind of stuff, and I was just like, it's not gonna be the same. So they didn't do that, which was great. I was pleasantly surprised with Jack Harlow. I think he was very like they. It seemed like either he's a really good actor or they developed the character around his personality because it didn't seem like he was doing that much different from what he was. The other dude looks exactly like
Shaniqua Walls, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, he looks so much like Dwayne Wade. They even used the joke. They go like you broke like they call him a bootleg Dwayne Wade or something like that in it. It was cool. Like the first story, like the story was mainly, I guess, around his character, not Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow was like a side character, whereas in the original, they both were part of the story type of thing. But yeah, overall, super entertaining. I recommend watching it. It's not like it's one of those movies where you don't have to be super focused. It's just like you watch it, you enjoy it. The basketball seemed legit. It wasn't like fake basketball and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes they be doing that.
A little close-up shot of the ball going in.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jack Harlow knows how to play.
Jack Harlow makes the shot. It's a black man's hand coming out. They
be using like just a black man to dunk it.
Right.
We're just using extra wide.
It wasn't done like a Bollywood movie. Let's just put it that way.
Did you see that clip of Ariana Grande? And she's like sliding down the stairs for a movie, and this is blatant Asian girl sliding down the stairs for an action shot.
Dude,
yeah, they have a lot of that though.
It's so much like that in Bollywood movies too, man. I remember I was watching this Bollywood movie with this girl I was dating, and like we were watching it, and all of us, it was like this woman, and she was like fighting, and then she like freeze. She's like, wait, rewind it. She's like, pause it. And it was like a dude with a full on mustache, beard, just with a wig, like doing the action scenes. I'm like, you couldn't get a woman to be the stunt double. Like, come on now. But yeah, so coming from that, Jack Harlow has been in the news because him and MGK got into it because I think Jack Harlow claimed to be the best white rapper since Eminem. And MGK was like, nah, homie, that's me.
No,
he's not a rapper anymore.
He doesn't rap anymore. Didn't Eminem basically didn't they have beef and then they battled and Eminem blatantly won and then MGK picked up a guitar?
Cap.
MGK won that battle.
I feel like
I didn't know that.
Washed.
Yeah,
Eminem.
MGK won that
Here's
battle.
the thing.
Washed. He even said your beard is weird. And that sounds terrible, but it sounded good when he said it.
But here's my thing. How is it that like, and I don't know because I didn't hear either song, but regardless of the songs, MGK still stopped rapping after that and picked up a guitar. Am I wrong?
MGK rapping right now.
Does he continue to rap?
He raps in his friend's backyard. He got a loose 45 on the floor.
The only shit that I know
about there's a pit bull somewhere.
There's some Ja Morant stuff.
The only shit that I know about MGK is him that's gone popular, that's like actually charted, is his like alt rock guitar sing-songy type shit. I don't know anything.
Lately.
And like, I don't know, like we could look at Machine Gun Chuck Kelly and like what has hit the Hot 100 and what hasn't. But I don't feel like just off of my exposure that I know really most of anything that he's done from a rap standpoint.
He is very talented. I'll tell you that. He's a good rapper. Like he's a good rapper. The bars he put out for Jack Harlow in his friend's backyard. I'm telling you, there was 3 Rottweilers right there swimming in the pool, smoking Newports and everything. He was just rapping like crazy.
That adds to the points. It gives extra
points.
I'm telling you,
he was like, he was like legit.
Sure.
Like he was like in the hood somewhere. He left his beautiful apartment. He went to Watts or something.
So who's the best white rapper since Eminem? So who we got? MGK. You got Jack Harlow. Logic.
Who's the other dude? There's another.
Don't put Logic.
Logic's black, I thought.
Logic been trying too hard to tell you he's black.
Yeah,
he's not white anymore.
Okay, and I think he retired.
Isn't he not though?
No, he's
half
half
white, half
he's black.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
Let's not do this because he's gonna watch it.
All right.
Yeah. No, there's another dude.
There
was another dude you were telling me.
Who? What's
So
his
my-
name?
my-
NF?
NF.
Yeah.
Thank
You know what I did watch recently that I was catching up on was the Little Dicky show, Dave,
Oh,
on FX.
Dave?
Okay, Dave.
Lil Dicky?
Lil
And the
Dicky.
most recent episode was him going to the Met Gala and his like sideways beef with like between Lil Dicky and Jack Harlow, which is
Yeah.
really
Oh,
funny.
there
So
you
there was like
go.
a clip where Lil Dicky was like, "You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me," and he was like,
Who are you?
And- right. And he was like, I'm actually mad that I'm even like associated with you, kind of. And they kind of look alike in a way because they
Yeah.
have like the moppy
Definitely.
curly
Yeah,
hair
yeah,
and like
yeah.
the
That's
beard
unfortunate.
situation. So it was just like a really funny thing in that way.
Yeah,
of,
that is
like
true.
between, I mean, ugh.
So who you think?
I think Macklemore's for sure at the bottom.
So mine
Macklemore has
isn't
some
even.
hits though.
my-
I saw him. I saw him.
think-
Macklemore.
I think
forgot about
the
this
best
dude.
white rapper is just barely has come out.
Go ahead.
He's a drill rapper from New York. His name's Lil Mabu.
Ooh,
Mm-mm.
you lost me there. I don't know that.
We're not doing that.
Why not?
We're not doing
Have
that.
you heard his new song?
The drill scene
Nah, Lil
is
Mabu is the truth.
pretty much dead.
Nah,
Oh.
you wrong.
The drill scene is pretty much on a commercial level dead.
That's not true. This dude's putting up numbers.
Explain this drill scene to me.
Okay. Pop Smoke.
So originally started with Chief Keef.
I was gonna
That's
say you can't
Chicago
talk
drill.
about.
Yeah.
It didn't really start with Chief Keef. That's Chicago drill started with Chief Keef. It started in the UK. So it's a UK movement that moved to Chicago, that from Chicago and moved to New York, and then it became a phenomenon here in the United States. Whenever those things happen, they got a lifespan of X amount of years. Chicago had their time. New York has had their time. Their princes have either passed away or went to prison. And now it's over.
Lil Durk's still there.
Lil Durk is hanging out with the mayor.
And
He has songs with children now.
His new
All
song-
My life.
his new song, that song's fire. He's trying to get a Grammy. But anyways, going back to best white rapper, who do you think it is? I think it's Lil Mabu. Since Eminem.
Sure. The best white rapper. You know what's unfortunate for the white rappers? They all kind of sound the same.
Mm.
Like
A little bit.
quick rapping,
Yeah,
little
that's true.
flippity flap words. It's definitely not Logic.
You just said he's not on the list.
I'm just being sure
Okay.
we are
All right, let's
all
put-
we all are
You
aware.
already
the
said
same
the man was
page.
black.
I'm
You
just
covered
saying
him. You
because
covered him.
he's
You
had
said-
like,
NF,
yeah.
NF
I'm
is
just
fire.
saying.
NF
I'm
is
just
fire.
saying. NF.
NF is fire. I like
Yeah,
him.
He cool. They all the same to me, pretty much. They all the same. Jack Harlow, I'll listen to his latest album. You know.
I like Jack Harlow though.
Jack Harlow got a song.
He got a couple. He got the remix.
You only say
Nah,
that
he
because your
got-
boy's on there.
He got a couple songs. He got the Tyler Hero song I thought was fire.
Who's it, Jack?
Jack Harlow, yeah.
I don't know, man. Jack kind of.
He got the What's Poppin', obviously that's a big one.
He's kind of vanilla.
He got the one with your boy Lil Nas X.
All right, come on. Don't do it. Don't.
I
do
know
that.
you love that music video.
Yeah, sure, yeah. He got one with Drake. He got the Drake cosign,
Mhm.
but he got washed on that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the whole setting him up to be the next Drake was where his downfall was.
Oh, you think he's going down?
I mean, I think that's high expectations that he wasn't able to reach.
He
But
has
he-
the Drake flow.
And I think he has a great personality. He's doing the movie thing. He wants to be like an icon. So I think, we'll see if he gets there.
He won't. No, I don't think so.
I mean, look, he starts doing the movie things. It's a slow grind. It's not going to happen overnight. How long did it take Drake?
Fair.
A
A while.
few nights.
Yeah. He was rolling around in Degrassi. Nobody even knew who he was.
Yeah, but
Wheelchair Jimmy.
Yeah.
he was wheelchair, but he kind of ascended to the rap place fairly quickly.
But he
Not
he put his
necessarily.
team, he got not industry plan.
like, I mean,
but-
to the top. Best I ever had was like,
There were like 3 mixtapes before that though.
yeah, but they were not Lil Wayne sanctioned mixtapes because he had Comeback Season. Then
Mhm.
he had the other one. Damn, what was the other one? Comeback Season was the one in the fall
Mhm.
where he had the cut in the head, and then he had the other one, and then he had So Far Gone, pretty much. So he had 2, and then he had the one sanctioned by Lil Wayne. I mean, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
And then
I-
he stayed at the top.
But you're
like
talking
Fetty Wap
about
is in
pretty
jail.
fast, but you're talking about how much work he put in
years.
when he was
Yeah.
on the scene to when that was
That's
a
what I'm
good amount of
saying.
time. That wasn't quick.
That wasn't
I
He was
quick.
like 14 doing Degrassi, bro. He
Right.
Yeah,
got
in Degrassi, but he started rapping when he was like a late teenager, and then he became famous when he was like 20.
14 when he was rapping.
Nah,
He was rapping on Degrassi.
he was rapping on Degrassi when he was like 18, 19.
Nah.
And then he got
No,
famous when he was
That
23.
timeline is incorrect. However, I will say this.
It was about 10 years. And
No,
14 to 23 is about 10 years.
he was not rapping when he was 14.
Right.
Cap.
He was on Degrassi rapping.
First of all, Drake was born in 1986, and he didn't start like
When was his first hit?
2008.
86 to 8, 4, 18, 22.
I'm proud of us. Got the math.
his,
Keep it going.
his first hit single was 2010
Boom.
with Over.
24.
With Over, no. Best I Ever Had is before Over.
It was part of that same album.
No, it's not. Over is on a different album.
Nope, it's on the same
It's
album.
100% on.
One thing
First
about
of all, on March 9th, 2010, Drake released his debut single Over, which peaked at number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100, as well as the top rap songs chart, and was
Over.
nominated for a Grammy.
Like,
That was the same.
tell me know his Drake stuff.
album.
I do know my Drake stuff. I was in college at the time. Over came after Best I Ever Had. Best I Ever Had came out in 2008, and they played it in high school.
Best I ever had was with the one Kanye.
Directed. Facts.
Wait.
Maybe Drake the best white rapper.
He is.
I mean,
Drake gotta give it to Drake.
We forgot about Drake.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh, what about
Nope.
Cole?
So Far Gone was the album that you're talking about, and Over was on So Far Gone. So was Best I Never Had.
Which came out first though? J. Cole's
Which
half
technically
white?
was a mixtape.
J. Cole's half white? I didn't know that.
J. Cole is half white.
I didn't know that.
He was born in Germany.
Oh.
So is
That's real
Drake.
Drake is half white, but he's half Jewish. Remember, we keep going back to this conversation. Are Jews white?
But his dad is Jewish and black.
His dad is black. His
And
mom
Jewish.
is Jewish.
Oh, I thought his dad was Jewish too. No?
No, his dad is brothers to Sly and Family Stone lead singer.
So anyways, Chris, who's your favorite white rapper after Eminem?
I don't know. I don't listen. To
You think it's
these
Drake?
people.
Somehow Logic isn't a white rapper, but Drake
Apparently.
is.
We know it's not Logic.
But you said Logic can't even be on the list.
No, he's not.
Right on.
I think it's Lil Mabu. Shout out Lil Mabu.
I don't know who the best white, because what I'm telling you is it's Eminem and then everybody else that sounds the
Yellow
same.
Wolf.
No. Would you say what's the one of the rapper that died? Unfortunately, rest in peace. He dated
That's a lot of them, bro.
no
Mac
one white
Miller.
rap. Mike Miller.
Oh, Mac Miller. Yeah.
Mac Miller was alright.
Mac Miller's
I
Mac
like
Miller
Mac
was
Miller.
great.
Yeah.
I would say Mac Miller.
I love
That's
Mac
true.
Miller.
After Eminem.
Okay, there you go. He didn't
I'm
sound
still
like the.
calling
He did not.
Lil Mabu.
Yeah.
You're right, by the way.
Dude,
so
you can't.
Over was on Thank Me Later.
I wasn't even
which is the
gonna
album
mention
after.
Wrong on
I
Drake.
know that.
I didn't want to like
He's like,
because
I
you
know
a
that.
guest, but like
No,
when it comes to Drake,
It's a
like
sensitive subject.
we just that's
The
We
thing
let
is that
him-
So Far Gone is technically a mixtape. Thank Me Later was technically his first album.
I know.
But yeah.
look. Kelby and Drake is just different. Like it's a
But that,
different
but that
connection.
one, but the song that you were talking about was on the mixtape. It wasn't on the album.
Yes, but that's his first big hit.
His first
Alright.
single. So
Yes.
Over was technically his first.
Yes, and then if you want to count before that, he had Replacement Girl with Trey Songz.
Oh God, nobody knows that song.
I know it.
I know.
In my heart is there.
yeah.
I know.
But anyways, all
All
right.
right, so let's go to something that we can actually have an opinion on, since
All right.
everybody don't want to have an opinion on this.
I don't know
Yeah,
about
because
white
nobody
rappers.
knows anything about right rap. Like that's not.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm right. Lil Mabu.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Whoever that man. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Is
for
this a
that
child
man.
or
huh?
Mabu?
Yeah.
It's a child.
He's a senior in high school right now.
Okay, it's a pass.
All right. You listen to the music.
Oh wow, he is a very white boy.
I told you.
The images are hilarious. Look at that.
Lil Mabu. It's a
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I guess.
All right. So, something that we all love, food.
Yeah.
And when we don't want to cook, we want something fast. So I want to know what you guys feel like is the best fast food chain.
Chris, let's start with you.
Why you
What's
gotta
the
choose me?
criteria?
I know. I want to.
He said, "Let's
No
ask the
criteria,
fat
is what
guy."
you-
No,
it
I'm
has to
fatter
be.
than you.
It has to be a restaurant that has a drive-through.
that has a drive-through.
Yeah, that is a good way. See, this is what I'm talking about. Criteria.
Okay,
It's
there you
very
go.
important.
Drive-thru.
So, for example, Chipotle, not fast food, no drive-thru.
No drive-through.
Also, I hate Chipotle.
But Panda Express, there is
They
a
have
drive-thru.
drive-thrus.
They
Sure.
do have
Do they?
drive-thrus. It's
There's one in
awkward to
Burbank.
eat in the car,
Yeah,
but they do have
do.
one.
Even some Subways have drive-throughs.
They do.
Even
That's
some
facts.
Subways.
That's facts.
Oh, definitely not Subway, though. Fuck that.
I don't like
They
Subway
fell
either.
all the way off when they gave millions of dollars to a pedophile, and
Oh, this is
And-
political.
and it's not though because their fucking bread is made out of yoga mats. Like it's like
Yoga mats.
All their food is gross and frozen. No, no,
Wow.
thank you.
yeah.
No,
Subway didn't
It's,
deserve
that is not Subway.
Subway. Hey, by the way,
Subway can catch all of that
This
heat.
episode has been
Yeah.
sponsored by.
By the way, when I first brought this topic off camera, Danielle was like, "I don't really know that," but her opinions are strong on this
Yeah,
thing,
like,
and I love it. And I love it.
Here's
And I
why.
love
Like,
it.
Subway, first of all, Subway ain't shit. Arby's, money laundering scheme.
Subway's just gross. First of all,
Arby's is a
It's
money
not that
laundering
gross.
scheme.
Arby's
Arby's
is
is
facts.
like
Arby's
Arby's
is
is like
gross, too.
mattress stores.
Look, Arby's gave the bag to my boy Pusha T, so Arby's can.
Oh, okay.
We got the meats.
But all the
That's
endorsements
real
aside,
nasty.
That's
what's
hey,
the best fast food?
Pusha T.
That's my
Pusha T.
but that's my question. How does Arby's have all this money for marketing? Who goes there?
People keep buying Arby's.
What's the
It's
it's like
big.
the mattress
It's
stores
not
of
big in
fast
Cali,
food.
but it's big. It's big in the Midwest and the
I'll
West,
tell you
East
this
Coast.
too.
Okay.
People, different companies buy Arby's. They sell it every like 3 to 5 years. Yeah. So the company that owned Buffalo Wild Wings used to own Arby's, and then the company it's just bought and sold
Cool.
and bought and sold. So
All right,
I
let's go.
maintain my previous statement.
Chris,
Arby's is the mattress
I bet.
store of fast food.
Chris, we're gonna go. Okay,
We're gonna start with
should
Chris.
we split them up into burger joints and non-burger joints, or should we just
Ooh,
do all
that's a good
together?
assessment.
Ooh, that's a good.
Okay, breaking down the categories. I'm here for it.
That's rough.
That is kind of rough. Let's do one.
All right, go.
I'm a Cali boy, so I like In-N-Out, but it's only because I know how to order In-N-Out.
Fair.
But since I was a kid, it was always, hey, you want to take a trip to McDonald's? Get yourself a
Ooh, we go with a classic.
Happy
you get
Meal.
some McDoubles with mac sauce.
Facts.
Get yourself McFlurry if you're feeling it.
Mm.
If you feel
If
it.
If the machine
If
works.
the machine works, which we
Let's
know it
be
doesn't.
honest.
We always
It never
feel
does. Yeah, I'll probably have to say McDonald's.
McDonald's, okay.
Damn, that's rough.
I gotta go with
because
That's a good
OG.
one.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's a good one.
I was gonna
That's
say
the OG.
McDonald's, but to avoid having to say the same thing that Chris said, I
I'm gonna
went
say
through
Jack
a
in the Box.
phase
It's
where
gonna
I
be Jack in the
ate
Box
a
for you.
lot of
Jack in the Box.
no, not Jack. I
No,
think Jack in the
Burger
Box
King.
tastes
You
like
ate a lot
food
of
your
Burger
uncle
King.
makes.
That's fair.
I stopped eating Burger King in 2020. Because
Wendy's?
I opened up the burger and it looked like rats made it.
Ew.
No
They
lie, like
did?
it looked
What are you talking
gross.
about?
No, like it looked like Ratatouille made the food.
Yeah.
Ratatouille. Hey, don't hate on
Don't
Ratatouille.
knock
Ratatouille was
Remy.
making exquisite meals.
I'm just saying. So McDonald's is definitely my number one, but number two, I can always eat. What's the name of that place that sells the chicken strips with the sauce? The sauce.
Every
is the,
place, everywhere.
No. It's made Cane's.
Raisin Cane's.
Raisin Cane's.
I like Raisin Cane's.
Raisin Cane's is my
Ah,
number
they got a
2. It's
drive-thru
just
too.
too expensive.
Come on,
It
bro.
is.
Just pick one.
Raisin Cane's.
Raisin Cane's.
You can't pick one and then give the negatives about it.
I have to. It's too expensive, but it's good.
It's great.
Daniel,
I mean,
anything you eat is probably number one because you don't even really eat that much fast food. So
I don't
whatever
eat fast food like
whatever you
that.
make it out to.
I feel like I was just trying to think of like the last like fast food thing that I ate.
What does your chef make you?
It was probably I don't have a chef. Come on now. I would probably say like Taco Bell has a special place in my heart. I know. Actually,
Especially
you know
when
what?
since the Mexican pizzas came back. Mm.
I'd love me a Mexican, and
Hell
that's
yeah.
part of the reason why I love a good Mexican pizza
Hell
or
Let's
like
yeah.
a
pause this
decent
real
like
quick. Let's
nacho
pause this real
I don't know
quick.
why they call it Mexican pizza.
Go down the line real quick.
Like,
Taco Bell versus Del Taco.
Well, Del Taco's my first.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it really your choice?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Kelby hijacking the
It's
segment
been a
again.
really long time since I've been to Del Taco.
Disgusting.
Del
Sorry.
Taco.
Del Taco is better than Taco
Yeah.
Bell.
We
Taco
Taco
Bell-
Bell.
could. This very easily could be a bracket. Like,
But here's the thing:
All
Del
right.
Taco, Del Taco's only on the West Coast.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. They got Del Taco in Florida.
Okay, but Florida's pretty much West Coast.
No, it's not.
Super West.
That-
It's the ends of the West.
anything that has sunshine and water to me is West Coast.
So like Atlantic City.
It's Super West in that is.
But
to the
actually,
right.
Atlantic City don't have that much sun. So you know what I mean.
Okay.
But
your choice was Del Taco.
Del Taco.
Del
Wow,
Taco.
My
okay.
number one.
Del Taco is key.
Smart.
Because I feel like Del Taco has a good combination. So look, Del Taco could fit under burger,
Come on.
could fit under taco,
Come on.
could fit under burrito,
Come on.
could fit under breakfast.
Amen.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Del Taco got everything. You got the
Yeah.
milkshakes. It got the drinks that could compete with Sonic drinks. Because nobody puts Sonic, but Sonic got the best drinks.
That's because I can't find a Sonic.
Sonic's everywhere, bro.
It really
That's
is.
not
It's
true.
not
They're not
bad.
quite everywhere. I think
Closest one to
I ate
here
at a
is,
Sonic
like-
for the first time like a year and a half ago, maybe.
Yeah,
But
the
you
closest
ain't
one
even
here is
looking
like
for it like
Duarte.
that.
I mean, no.
It's on every corner if you were
Yeah.
looking for it.
Here's the question though.
Sonic's the
What's the
prostitute.
fast food?
It is.
What's the fast food that you don't have often, but every now and then you're like, fuck, I want to eat this.
So I could tell you the place I never eat. McDonald's,
Whack.
Burger King.
Do you ever
That's
crave
fair
it
enough.
randomly? Okay.
Um,
But that's the question. Like, what do
What
you
would I
not?
eat?
What
In-N-Out.
fast food do you
In-N-Out?
eat? Okay,
Yeah,
that you
In-N-Out.
crave randomly. Okay.
In and Out,
What's your In-N-Out order?
Yeah, what is it?
double animal style, no cheese,
Mm.
and animal style fries.
It's okay.
What's
It's
your order?
acceptable.
Because we need to know.
My order?
Yeah, and
Yes.
nobody disrupt them.
It's a double animal style. You add whole grilled onion and you add chopped chilies.
Yes.
You could add chopped chilies.
A man that knows his shit.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's the best burger that there is.
You
there.
have to add chopped chilies.
I didn't even know that was a
Chopped chilies,
thing.
Yeah.
Whole grilled onion. Your breath gonna be funky, but it's
gonna
okay.
Oh,
be
you know
so
what else is
good.
good? Portillo's,
Portillo's is shit.
Portillo's. Well, that's the East Coast thing, right? That's
Chicago.
Chicago,
But they have
that's
one out
home.
here.
They have one here.
Yeah, they have
Oh,
it in.
nice. You know what I
Not
saw
far
around
from Long
here?
Beach.
Yeah,
That would be my pick.
Oh,
Portillo's.
let's go.
That would be my pick.
What do
Because
you
that
get
is
at
some shit
Portillo's?
that, oh man, you gotta get an Italian beef.
You get it.
You
You
have
get
to have an
combo or
Italian beef.
regular.
So Italian beef,
Yeah, right.
mozzarella and American cheese,
Mm.
dipped, peppers
Hot
on
peppers.
and peppers on the side with fries.
See, I like their Italian sausage at Portillo's.
Is this
One
a
of the
drive-thru?
That is
I've never been to
Portillo's
it.
can be a drive.
And they got some good ass milkshakes too.
Oh my
Oh,
god! If you've
that's
ever
key.
had like a chocolate cake shake,
Yeah.
it's the shit.
Mhm.
They basically take chocolate cake.
You gotta cancel
Chocolate ice
all your
cream.
plans afterwards.
well, yeah,
Shake Shack.
You
chocolate
get-
cake,
but
chocolate ice cream,
Shake Shack got a
in a blender,
The Shake Shack
in a
got a
milkshake. Yeah, it's fantastic.
drive through. Yeah, Shake Shack got a drive through.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't
They
fuck with
definitely got a
Shake
set.
Shack.
No, they got
I
good
don't fuck with
milkshakes.
Shake Shack fucked me over.
How?
I was, this is when I was dirt poor. And Kelby and I had a meeting with a client, and they were like, "Oh, let's meet at Shake Shack." And I was like, "I got $6 in my pocket. I haven't eaten in 14 days. I'm about to go to the Shake Shack and see what I can get with this $6." They
Oh,
was like,
man.
"We could get you some nugs." I was like, "For sure, give me some nugs. I can make a whole meal out of it." They give me the nugs. It's the size of my palm. The whole, all of the, I think it was like an 6 piece, whatever. They fit right here in this.
They be using real
microscopic-
chicken. That's why.
It's gross. I was like, no, thank
So
you.
does KFC.
Yeah,
Nah,
Mm.
KFC don't be using real
They
chicken.
found a real chicken's head in the KFC
In the
order.
KFC thing.
Yeah, fried.
Ugh.
They also
was
found a
mid-buck.
rat.
Dang, we didn't pick none of the fried chicken places.
Relax.
No, yeah.
So to answer your question of places I don't go to often, but I do be craving it, there's something about the smell of Popeyes.
Mm.
Mhm.
You smell some Popeyes,
Mhm.
it don't even taste the way it smells,
Right.
But it
But it's so
smells
good.
so good.
Yeah.
You just like I used to work at a hospital where there was a Popeyes across the street, so they used to just pump the smell of chicken
That's true.
into the air,
Mhm.
and used to
Like
just
a air freshener.
Oh my god! The moment you drive into the block radius, you was like, "Oh, I gotta get me some chicken." You turn into the bigger.
What's your best side? What's your favorite side from Popeyes?
favorite side? Oh, I get like 6 biscuits.
The biscuits are
Six
good.
biscuits.
I get the
biscuits are
biscuits.
good.
I like the rice and beans.
I don't
Mm.
It
even
is
get
good.
none. Mm-mm.
I go mashed potatoes and then the biscuits in the mashed potatoes.
That's you
Mhm.
can't eat a. If you got mashed potatoes, you gotta dip the biscuit in
Right,
the mashed potatoes. Only
I agree.
I don't think I even had it. I had the macaroni.
Have any of you ever had White Castle?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
You
Never
talk. You talking about white diarrhea?
Ooh.
you, White Castle's cool because you could get a lot of food for a little bit of money.
It's
Right,
true,
right.
but you can also get not a lot of food for a lot of money.
How many sliders does it take for you to get full? That's my question.
7.
Nah, they pretty. They got bigger.
They're bigger.
Yeah,
I went to a White Castle a few months ago.
they're not
Mm.
bad.
It was like $21.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was $21 order.
got
I mean,
ripped.
of course, I got
What city were you in?
Jersey.
Okay.
I was in Jersey. And
What'd you order?
this is what I was gonna say. if you go to a fast food restaurant these days, you can't order the number.
Yeah, you got to order.
You got to order. You got to say the number, the order up from the number individually.
Sometimes they change the
Yeah.
numbers in the order, so you can't stick with that. Because
Exactly.
I forget, like Wendy's, good example. When I was in college, I worked full time and went to school full time, and so like right before I would go into work, when I wasn't going to school that morning, I would go to Wendy's and get, I think it used to be a number 6. It was like a spicy chicken sandwich with like cheese, fries, and then I would have like a Diet Coke. And then that was like, I would literally be on the highway, like whole mouth with a burger, like on my way into work, like just rushing. But it was always number 6. I think I went and the spicy chicken sandwich wasn't the number 6 anymore, or whatever that number was, and it fucked me all the way up. So I was like, ah!
No, what I'm saying is the number is the most expensive thing. Like if you get a number 8, let's just say you get a number, it's
Whatever
gonna be like
that is.
$38.
Food is more expensive now, period.
But if you say,
Yeah.
let me get the exact order from the number, let me get 2 burgers, let me get
Mhm.
1 French fry, let me get 1 lemonade, let me get 1 McFlurry. You got to drive across the street to the McDonald's to order the McFlurry for me and bring it back to White Castle, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be like $7.
Yeah, my body can't handle fast food as much as it used to.
Wow, that's a flex.
Anymore.
Don't flex on us.
But like, no,
She
I'm
healthy now.
serious.
Yeah.
She had-
We
She
are
eats
not that
salads.
healthy.
When
we are not that healthy.
when
We
we
will
used to work
break
together,
down.
she was a salad shaker.
Yeah.
Not a
It
salad
wasn't a salad shaker.
She
There's
over
this-
here making sure she got the right Tupperware to be able to
Yeah.
get everything.
There's
She was
this-
always shaking her salad.
There's this place called Every Table that does like, it's actually a really great
Yeah.
place, but they do like these salads, and they used to
Yeah.
always make fun of me because I would get a salad from there and I would like mix it up. But
Mhm.
Yeah,
it
salad
was
shaker.
good. They were-
Yeah.
It wasn't a salad shaker.
She was a salad shaker. She was.
Hey,
You are a Kardashian ass.
Before you ate your salad, what'd you
Uh-huh.
have to do?
Okay. It was the easiest way to do it though. 'Cause,
Hey,
like
we not
it's still
knocking
in the
it.
plastic
We
container,
just
so you
calling
shake
it.
up
We
to,
just
like, mix
calling
the
it
dressing.
what it is.
Yeah.
Before you ate your salad,
You had to shake it.
You shake it.
salad shaker.
That's what it was.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. But yes, I would. Even still, I would just not make any plans after the fact, but I would still fuck up a couple of jalapeno cheddar burgers from White Castle.
Ooh.
Shits are amazing.
You know what? What? This is hands down the greatest thing I've ever eaten from a fast food place, and I'm a McDonald's stan. But if you go to Carl's Jr.
Mhm.
and you get the breakfast burger, the triple burger,
Mhm.
I'd say
That's what you get, and it comes with hash browns in the burger.
anytime, like you feel you had to say it under your breath because you know it that
True
well.
burger.
Yeah, there's groups for you, Kelly.
it's like 2,000 calories.
Yes, that's what I was gonna
Alone.
say. When
Alone.
I'm craving something and I don't have it often because it's mad expensive.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
and it's
yeah,
really
I don't
expensive.
really do the burger joints that well, but burger joints usually got this question combined with it: best fries
I mean, it's
McDonald's hands down.
McDonald's.
Let's just be
Nobody's
real.
touching
over
McDonald's
curly
has-
fries from Jack in the Box.
McDonald's has the
I fuck
the
with
best
curly
fries. Period.
too.
Period.
They've perfected it. It's done. Wendy's fucked up their fries. Burger King fucked up their fries a couple times around.
What about In and Out?
Hold on.
Nah, I
In and
know.
Out fries are good
Wendy's-
if they're fried hard.
Mm.
You know you can order your fries fried hard,
I
like
didn't know
extra
that.
hard.
I didn't know that.
I didn't even know they had chopped
I'm gonna go
pepper.
to. Okay,
That's
I'm gonna go.
right.
I didn't even know they had chopped
Let's go
pepper.
to. Let's go to In and Out after this.
Wait, time's out because you didn't ask me what my.
Okay, sure.
That is a very similar order. I'm gonna add the onions though, because mine
You
is
gotta add the whole
a
grill
single animal style chopped chilies, regular fries, and a chocolate and vanilla shake.
onion.
Chocolate and vanilla.
Mhm.
Damn, she knows what
Hold
to
up.
get.
So you get animal style plus a whole onion,
Plus a whole grilled onion.
That's nasty.
but doesn't the animal style come with grilled onions?
So you gotta
Yes,
add
which is
another
the reason
whole grilled
why.
onion.
Yeah.
That's
Just
why your bread's
as
gonna be
is.
funky.
They be grilling the onion, putting it on
Let
top
it-
of the diced grilled onions.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Thousand
chopped
Island
chilies.
sauce.
That's a
crazy.
little too much onion for me. However,
Oh,
I
that's good, man.
wholeheartedly agree with the chopped chilies. Chopped
Gotta have
chilies make the
chopped
whole
chilies on
fucking
there.
burger.
Chopped chilies, man.
You
I
just
didn't
have to
even
know how
that
to
was a
order
thing.
for it. In and Out is the reason why people say In
That's
and Out is
something new.
overrated is because they're ordering based
How
off
long-
what they see.
How long
That's
has
facts.
they had the chopped chilies?
That's facts.
Forever.
Really?
Since they had the Scooby snack.
They
Yeah,
have a
forever.
secret menu.
Yeah.
I
That's
thought the
thing.
secret menu was just
It was
animal
like
style.
a couple extra things. Now
No, the chopped
Ask
chilies
for the
is
world,
is
Sunil.
clutch.
And you're a Cali boy, man. Get your vibes up, guy.
Sorry about that, Drake.
Here's my question for you, because you
Huh.
mentioned Wendy's fries. Wendy's does not have the worst fries. They have the worst amongst the worst fries by itself. If you eat the fries with the frosty, you're good. It's the best fries.
They
Yeah, because
used
you
to
dip
be-
it in something.
Yeah.
Wendy's fries used to be good, and then they changed the recipe and they fucked up the fries. I'm sorry. I love French fries, but my personal humble opinion is if I need to dip your French fry in chocolate or anything else, then your fry is trash.
That's not true.
The
because you
potato
gotta
should
dip
stand
chicken
alone.
nuggets somewhere. You gotta
Nope.
Yo,
dip them
that might
somewhere.
have been disrespectful.
Chicken
I gotta put my
nuggets.
nuggets
Nuggets,
You
fine.
gotta dip them.
If your fried potato,
Uh-oh.
needs sauce, your fried
Yeah.
potato is trash.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Dang, I dip
Period.
all my fries in ranch. It don't matter. It's
That's-
it's gonna happen.
That's true.
Personal humble opinion. Do what you
Yeah,
want.
there ain't nothing humble about that opinion. She said, "Yo,
Personal,
shit is trash."
unhumble opinion.
She like
Very aggressive.
respectfully, yo shit doesn't deserve to be in a human mouth.
Not,
But you know what though?
Honestly, the
McDonald's,
potato-
you can eat McDonald's fries by itself.
that part,
'Cause they
which
put
is
extra
Yes, you
salt.
can.
which is the reason why they're the best. Again, if you can't eat a fry by itself, if you have to dip it in something for it to be good, then it's not a good
I'm
fry.
more of a
Nah,
wedges
I
person
don't know
than a
about
fry person.
I'm getting a
Like
nod
wedges.
over here.
You
That's all
being
I
a
got.
wedge
From the
person
expert
is-
in the room, I'm getting nods.
Being
See,
a wedge
we're on the
per-
same page.
I got you.
Not only
you.
is being a wedge person real disgusting,
Yo, he pointed
Oh,
two fingers in my
shit.
face. It was like,
the thick curly fries,
Yeah.
like the Ida, you know the red bag, you get the Orida, gross. If you get any, there's another fry. What do they
cut?
call it? Chris cut? No.
The crinkle
It's
cut?
Crinkle?
No, not crinkle cut. Real nasty too.
What?
I would check your computer, and then the other one.
Check your computer.
Yeah, I would check your computer to see
I'm
what
the
you up
judgy
to.
one? Sir.
look,
There's another one too.
that's the only reason why I can deal with you because I deal with this one all the way.
There's another big fry. There's another big nasty fry.
I don't know.
What is
like
it?
the steak fry?
Steak
Why you
fries.
looking straight at me? Like,
Steak fries.
I don't think none of those are nasty.
If you eat steak fries, you must
Nah.
do a year in prison.
They gotta
Wow.
be skinny and crispy.
Facts.
That's how I like
I
it.
will not go there.
That's the only way to do fries.
Honestly,
unless you
They
eat
just need
from
to be
Checkers.
crispy. Personal
Pause.
humble opinion.
thicker the fry, the better. Pause.
Yep.
Right
That's
on.
wild.
Unpause. Resume.
Okay.
They
So
were
have
fine.
we exhausted the French fry conversation?
Now I got another one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Don't make me throw up.
You got $7.
Yeah, sure.
7.
Which
okay.
place are you
It's a little
going to
ambitious.
get the most amount of food?
I got to do mental gymnastics
Mhm.
because I know I could go to Wendy's and get the 444,
Mhm.
Right.
and then get 1 to 2 more things off of the value or whatever menu
Yeah.
that is.
Although they don't got the dollar menu no more. Cheapest thing is $129.
Mm.
This man knows.
Mm.
But then you can go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
can get 4 cheeseburgers.
Talking about I know.
I know. I live at McDonald's.
Mhm.
I'm learning things right now.
Yeah, you get 4 cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
It's 2 for $3.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then that leaves you with what? $4?
Okay.
No, you got 4
No, 6.
cheeseburgers.
My bad.
So you only
it
got
leaves you with
$1.
$1. You can get a drink for $1.
You can get a large drink with it.
For $1. You full.
You buy a drink? I'm getting that water cup.
Nah.
No, see, that's you gotta economize your fast food trip.
Get that water cup.
Gotta get the soda.
Get a water cup. You could. It's the same thing.
Why?
You might.
The
Oh,
water
because you're
cup is
stealing
just-
it there. But if
No,
you're in the
we're
drive-thru,
we're in the drive-thru.
Oh yeah.
I'm
can't
never
go get
going
it.
inside of one of those infested places. I'm never going inside. You're a big sicko if you go inside a Burger King or Walmart or Wendy's.
Oh,
You're
no.
a big sick freak.
the last time I went into a Burger King, a man flat out beat the shit out of another man
Wow.
in this restaurant. The man's bleeding, crying for help. Everyone stood still and looked down at their receipts. They was like, I don't know what to do. Please make this stop.
You didn't
Please
hear-
make it go away.
No
I
Will
grabbed
Stein
my
recording?
tray and ran.
Wow.
I was like, no, thank you. I'm leaving.
Going inside one of those establishments is real nasty too.
That's wild. All right. So sticking kind of to this topic. So I was watching this Instagram reel, and it was this couple, and the dude was really fit, and the girl was let's say a little bit had let herself go.
Mm-hmm.
They were been together for quite some time, and it kind of reminded me. So when I was on my cruise recently, I met a couple there where the guy was like, good looking guy. He was older, probably like maybe closer to like 50 or whatever.
Mhm.
Good shape, whatever. We were having fun drinking, and then he introduced me to his wife, and it was interesting because when we were talking at the bar, he was talking like about like he wasn't talking like he was married. Let's just put it that way.
Mhm.
And then he introduced me to his wife, who was on the cruise with him, and she would, let's say, maybe wasn't the most attractive woman.
Mhm.
She used to be super attractive, not anymore. So,
Could you tell that she used to be?
yeah, she had a real pretty face,
Okay.
but she had also let herself go a little bit. But in this Instagram reel, they had an interview, and he was just like, they were asking him what he would want to do, like how he feels like the relationship would be better, and asking her. And what he was saying was like, I just wish she would take more care of her body. I wish that she would go to the gym with me, and just lose weight because I love her, but that physical attraction just isn't there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, do we have a responsibility to our partner to stay as attractive as possible at all times?
I have two answers to this.
Okay.
The first one is how the relationship began. If you are in this relationship because it is primarily physical,
Mm-hmm.
and your feelings don't develop much more than how you feel about them, I can imagine it being difficult for you,
Mm-hmm.
because you're like, I married this hot person and I was expecting them to be hot for 25 years before we had to deal with this, or 30 years. But then you keep yourself up, and you're seeing things on that, what is this called, the dermis?
Superficial.
Yeah, level. And it's also not bad. It's not bad if that's how your relationship is structured.
Mm-hmm.
The other half of it is we are just animals. We're animals. We see things with two things first: our stomachs and our eyes. That's how we always see things. If we see something in our stomach, we have a reaction to it. We see something with our eyes, we have a reaction to it. So it's not unfair for him to be like, I'm just not attracted to you anymore. Because look, if he can't get it up, what's he supposed to do? Pump the
Right.
blood down there himself?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just is what it is. So if that's a part of your relationship, that we just had this carnal energy with each other because we were just so incredibly attracted to each other physically and emotionally, what's the problem with him asking? And also, if she's kind of like not caring, if she just does not care, it's not that she has a thyroid issue, pumping out babies, whatever it is, but she legit is just saying, I'm gonna just do me, you do you. That's, I can understand how you could take that a certain kind of way. Okay. Disagree.
She's like, respectfully, your opinion is trash.
Again, if your French fry must have
Sauce.
a guest star or accoutrement to it,
That's a
then
word I don't
your
even know
fried
what that means.
potato by itself is trash.
Right?
I stand by that. I will die on that fucking hill. I'm sorry. If your French fries require ketchup, mustard, whatever the ranch, I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
If your French fry requires a thing, your French fry is trash.
Wow. Okay.
Because it needs help. It's the same shit with a rapper. If you...
How you
People talk about-
sidestepping this
people-
question right now?
She's answering it.
People
You're
talk
not reading
about-
between the lines.
People talk about like J. Cole, like all hits, no features. That's like there's a point to that. There are
Yeah.
certain rappers who need people to be on their shit in order for
Right.
them to be hot. Then that means you're not that hot. If your French fry needs a guest star or somebody else to give you 16 bars, then your French fry isn't hot.
Okay.
Now, going back to the woman. I think her taking care of herself has more to do with her and how she feels
Mm-hmm.
than it does with him
Okay.
and how he takes care of himself. I think in that sense, the question should be asked to her of, why do you feel like you've gained this weight? Like, what has happened in your life or your lifestyle that has shifted, how you eat and how you take care of yourself? Because again, health is 60 or 70% of what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like whether or not you're going to the gym. Like, you can't outrun a bad diet,
Facts.
period. making fun of my salad.
Shake, shake, shake.
Look, hey, I'm transforming my relationship with food, but that's a personal conversation that can be had later. It really does have to do with her and how she feels and what her lifestyle looks like. And I think for him, either he's going to help or he's not going to help. And I think that that's what that has to do with that relationship in itself. Like when you have a partner, it's really easy to like put your partner down or to side eye them if they're getting an extra helping, or if you're going to the gym and they're not, and that frustrates you and upsets you. But it's a whole nother ball game in having a conversation with her and being like, okay, baby, we're having dinner. So I'm going to make baked salmon and vegetables on the side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or instead of, if the gym doesn't work for you and they've been together for a while and you know that she likes to go hiking, well then go hiking with your woman, or go for a walk with her, or find things to do with her in order to encourage her to move more or to get over whatever it is deep down inside that's like letting her go. Like I feel like we all have issues with our body and our, you know, who we are as people and what we look like on the outside. Right. And if you want to change that, you have to change your lifestyle and be encouraged to change that lifestyle and who you are and what you want to do. So
do you
that's
feel like the why is very important.
The why is the thing, right? So like, yeah, he can be upset that like he's fit and attractive and she's let herself go. But the question is, why did she let herself go? Right. And what can he do to help her get back on? And if he feels as though that's not his responsibility to do, then why y'all together? Break up.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was. I think he was trying to help. I don't think it's her that was like, she just didn't feel like she needed to. My question is like,
but it's how you help,
well,
right?
I mean, I don't also think it's like, I think he could only do so much. If it doesn't come from her, it doesn't matter what he does.
Then break up.
That's what I'm saying.
Now,
so,
did he say this on the reel? Did he say this to somebody else, or he said it to her?
Both.
Oh, okay.
This has been a conversation that he's had with her.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was just like, this is because they were asking like, what is the one thing in the relationship that you would want to change? Right. And so this was the thing that he talked about. And so he said that in front of her. And then off the side, he talked about, you know, I try to get her to like work out with me. I try to like, hey, let's eat healthier, all this kind of stuff. It's just not important to her. And she just feels like I'm always going to be there kind of thing.
I feel like anyway. I feel like that's kind of a what does it say about you that you're also telling it to the internet, like to the guy on the camera?
It's probably the 100th time though he said it, and then they finally are like, "We'll be in the show for $1,000."
It must say something about either your relationship or who you are as a person that you felt free to mention it to the rest of the world. It's like that's your business, you and your relationship.
But I think we need to not focus just on this relationship. I'm talking about in general, right? Mm-hmm. So if this is our relationship, like for me, like, or any of us, if we're in, we like, there is a certain point that people could get to where they're physically not as attractive as they used to be.
Yeah.
Sure.
And really?
Yeah. You're almost, no, I'm just kidding.
You've seen like images of people, like certain ethnicities age like avocados, where like at one point they look great and then a little bit later you're like, oh shit.
Well, yeah, like natural evolution. But like, do you really feel like you would totally lose it if your girl gained like, I don't know, 50 pounds?
I don't know. But I do know that there's certain points where people get less attractive. Like people even that I've seen that maybe I wasn't in a relationship with, they were like super attractive at one point, and then you see them later on in life, you're like, oh man, what? Like you're not physically attractive anymore. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that's a reality. But when you're in a relationship, there's obviously so many more reasons why you're in that relationship that's outside of the physical attraction, right?
It's just like
that's
Kilby
just a
said,
part of it.
What the starting point was.
For sure. But even if it is a healthy relationship, you're super into this person, like on a spiritual level, on a vision level, morals, values, all that healthy stuff. I personally feel like there is a certain extent where it's like, why would you put your significant other in that position? So there's like, I'm not saying a few pounds here or there or whatever. I'm saying if you let yourself go to where it's physically unhealthy, it's physically unattractive and all that kind of stuff, you telling your significant other, you have to get over this aspect of it and still be with me. To me, that's selfish, because there is a certain point where you got to be like, it's not just for me. And I understand what you're saying, what the why and all that kind of stuff. But at a certain point, we can't be so engrossed in our own feelings and emotions that it's a point of narcissism. And I'm just using that, it's probably the wrong word. But what I'm saying is like where we expect other people to fix this aspect of it. There's a certain point where, you're asking a lot of great questions, but why should that man be put in that position to have to like weigh all of these things now when it could have been easily bypassed from just taking care of yourself a little bit.
But isn't
more.
that relationships to begin with? Has there ever been a time in your life where you don't feel like you've taken care of yourself as much as you used to?
Sure.
Or that you've fallen off a little bit?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with the other person? You do see what I'm saying? Like, there's things that happen to people in life where sometimes they fall off, and it's about whether or not you can get back on or be able to, go through life in a way where you're taking care of yourself a little bit more. So I think it's a little too far. Like, we're like here when it comes to like saying that that's selfish. I don't think that that's the case. I think what it is that, again, relationships should be two fully formed human beings, right, coming together, right? And so sometimes you individually are going through some shit, or like your life is not the way that you want it to be, and certain aspects of it start to drop off. Some of that may have to do with your partner and some may not. But
so you staying with the dude? So let's say your relationship, and you're in this relationship, you've been in with them, let's say years.
Okay.
And it's a very like, this is the one kind of thing. And all of a sudden he gets to a point where he's not attractive to you anymore. He's not as attractive. Like, yeah, let's just say you're not physically attractive, but everything else is great.
Was I before?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you still staying with him?
It depends, right? Like, I think
it's a conversation that you have to have, though.
It is a conversation. I think it is a conversation because you need to figure out, like, it's what part has fallen off. If it's weight, then yeah, let's have a conversation around, like, let's do things together, like go hiking or ride a bike or rollerblading, or, do you want to join a league and go play basketball with your friends? Like, what have
What
you,
if they're just not,
right?
They don't care about it as much because they're comfortable?
That's going to be... Again, it's a part of a conversation, I think.
But don't you think that was kind of selfish? The fact that he's like, I got the girl that I want. I don't need to necessarily be as fit and proper and all this kind of stuff. I don't need to worry about that as much because I got my girl.
But you may not be able to keep that bitch. Like, you
That's
see what I'm saying?
saying.
Like, again,
I think you're saying the same thing I'm saying.
To a certain point, but I think that the way that you're saying it is the part that I'm like, nah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to get like, I'm saying that there is a certain point where I look at it like, let's say we're together and initially there's attraction and all this other great stuff. Then all of a sudden I get to a point where I'm not as attracted to you. To me personally, that's me being selfish, because I'm putting you now in a situation where you have to overcome something that you didn't need to overcome before. That's clearly in my control. And
I am saying that that's life. I'm saying that there are things that shit just doesn't happen for the sake of happening. There's a why behind things, right? So I feel as though if we're in a relationship and we're together, and I see over the course of 6 months that you've gained like 30 pounds, and the FUBAR is FUBARing, and we're trying to do our thing, and things got to lift up to go to where they need to go. Like, yeah, we're gonna have that conversation because it's the Sahara down here. Yeah, and it's not going to go down the way that you think it's going to go down, or the way that it has before, because it's not as cute as it used to be. Yeah. But again, there are things that led you to that point. You obviously didn't gain 15 or 20 or however many pounds for no fucking reason. Like, either you're eating different, either your lifestyle has changed, so your eating habits has changed, or how much you move have changed, like how much you move to change, like something is different. And so that conversation does need to be had within that relationship. And there are certain things that are deal breakers within a relationship. Right. So like, if you're like, well, why aren't we having as much sex? And I'm like, I'm not into it because you got titties now. Then it's a conversation to be had because like, Nick, you don't want me motorboating you. No, okay then. So if you don't want me to motorboat you, I'm gonna need you to get rid of the titties. Right. So you need to like
do some push-ups,
do some work.
Okay, let me ask you this: if he says that to you though, like if he says the skin above your kneecap is covering your kneecap.
It's real specific.
Tell me be into some weird shit. Like,
I'm just saying. I've seen it recently, and I was like, "That's crazy. You got to kneel twice." So
you got knee pads.
I'm just saying. If he said it.
The kneel twice took me out. I'm sorry. Okay, continue.
If he say that to you, or like I was on set with Sam the other day. Anybody here seen John Wick 4?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, there's this guy in John Wick 4. He's the largest man to probably ever be in any of the John Wick movies. Sam coming to me and say, "Hey, you know you kind of got the same build as that guy from John Wick 4." So what if somebody came to you and say, "Hey, yo, you kind of look
somebody."
Or your man, like
man.
he starts saying like, "Yo, you know, you got a little resemblance to Lizzo or something." Yeah,
Lizzo's beautiful, but here's what I'll say.
She is beautiful, but if they compared you to that,
I mean, I don't look shit like Lizzo, so then now I got questions. But I will say this: it's a conversation that we need to have. If I know that I've gained X number of pounds through our relationship, and you aren't into that body type and we're not having as much sex or we're not as intimate or you don't, like your feelings about me have changed, then again, it's a conversation that we need to have of, am I willing to go and lose the weight or am I not? Which is going back to the thing that I was like, look, either he needs to be helpful and try to help her figure out why she's gained this weight and why she's let herself go and figure out how she can overcome this. Or he needs to break up with her. Like that, those are your options. Either if this is a deal breaker for you, sir, then you either need to help this woman fix it. And if she can't fix it, then you need to move on and find somebody else.
But I feel like that contradicts what you said in the first place. Because you said that the weight journey is like a self journey.
It is.
So what's that got to do with the other guy?
Because you're in a relationship. You are together. So your problems become a blended problem potentially, depending on what those problems are. So the reality of it is that if she's struggling with her weight and she doesn't want to do anything about it and she's okay with what she looks like and you're not, if that's a deal breaker, then you need to end the relationship. If she's struggling with her weight and she wants to fix it and you aren't being helpful because you're, making snide comments or calling her fat or doing whatever and bringing her down, that's only going to make the situation worse. So either you be helpful and you help her if she wants the help, or you end it. Like, those are your options.
So you don't think there's any, I guess, not blame, but responsibility on us as humans to like make sure there's not responsibility for us to not put our partner in that situation or in that position? No,
because sometimes you can't change how life happens to you. Like, what if it's a health thing? What if all of a sudden her hormones are out of whack and her, or she's having thyroid issues and that's the reason why she's gaining weight?
The caveat, like if they get pregnant, if there's like a health thing, all that kind of stuff, I think is different. Obviously, that's not in their control. I'm talking about that's in our control. Because I'll propose this to you. Let's say it's something different. Let's say it's drinking too much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's starting to affect the relationship. It's affecting the kids, all that kind of stuff. Addiction is something that's real.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that person that has that issue, the drinking that's creating all these problems, that they don't have a responsibility to fix that to a point where it doesn't put the spouse and the kids in that situation?
I will address that situation. I do feel like it's different from the weight issue, but what I will say to this is that if you have similar choices, if we want to keep it real, right? as that spouse who is drinking too much and is putting your significant other in a very bad place, you either have the responsibility of getting better and controlling your drinking, or stop going to drinking, or going to rehab, or what have you. Or if you can't do that or don't want to do that, then either you or your significant other need to end the relationship.
You're missing one. You're missing one thing. Surgery.
What about surgery?
You can just get surgery. You can just get a HeBL or a BBL. Whatever works for you.
The thing about plastic surgery that people fail to understand is that it doesn't solve all of the problems. I think Cardi B did a video about this a while ago when she was talking about like her BBL and all that other stuff, that she goes to the gym because there's like residual fat that happens. And so it's the reason why I would never get plastic surgery. Like, it is what it is. It's just the fucking body you're gonna
That's
live
what
with.
you're gonna get.
But the if you do just like all of a sudden get everything sucked out, the fat comes back eventually if you keep eating like shit and not moving and not exercising. And it comes back in really weird, awkward places and weird, awkward ways. Like,
true. Or
I don't really watch reality TV, but like, I've seen Botched.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen random episodes of Botched.
There's so many options now. You can get anti-appetizer medication to lose weight. You could get the you can get that
Ozempic.
Yeah, you can get that. You can get there's so many things that you could do nowadays.
Allegedly, that's rumored to give you thyroid issues, so you could have problems.
You just gotta
with
be careful with that stuff, because that stuff can have other stupid side effects.
The reality of it is,
if I was using it right now, like, I gotta be careful.
If you, if you look,
you need to go back to your physician.
What do they say? Like fast money isn't like long. Like, anything that you do anything that's a shortcut is going to have steeper consequences than actually just doing the fucking work at the end of the day.
This is true.
Yeah, I guess I just disagree. I understand all of your points, but I do feel like at a certain extent, it's just as I look at it similar to the drinking thing. At a certain point, me putting my significant other in a situation like that is something that I should control. And it's better if I don't ever put them in that situation versus do put them in that situation.
Have you ever been fatter than you are now?
Yeah.
By a lot?
Maybe same way, but different. Maybe like different like makeup. It was more flab than muscle.
I say that because I'd be violently swinging from 40 pounds up and 40 pounds down. And if you break up with me because I'm 40 pounds up.
Well, but then at that point, you just let her know, yo, this is a swing up. I'm coming down.
I think it's different from like attraction, though. You know what I mean? There's a certain. I'm talking about like significant. Like, you don't look the same anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you get to that point.
Pictures of him, like, he looks like he still looks very different person.
Yeah, but I don't think. Is this your heaviest or
no? I've definitely been like 60 pounds heavier than I am today.
And that was a 60 pounds lighter.
Say it again.
And even 60 pounds lighter.
Oh, I've been 100 pounds lighter than I am right now.
So, and he looks like a completely different person.
But somebody that's dating you is going to see you at this whatever what I'm saying is like, and yeah, I would agree with that too. If she has to come to you and be like, babe, I'm not attracted to you anymore. I think that's something that us as the other situation should not have to put our significant other in. That's just how I feel. I'm not saying that there's not fluctuations there. I'm saying when it gets to a point where she was talking about it's the Sahara down there, when she or like you can't.
Yeah, we literally, you weren't paying attention. Like,
what you mean by it's the Sahara?
It's
what
dry.
I'm saying is that like if you get to in a relationship,
I put it in a whole different context.
When you get into a relationship, the same shit of like, you know, it's cold outside all the time, regardless of how you feel about the situation. Because nothing like
understood.
So me personally, that's an extreme what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's not like just normal. We gain 20 pounds, gain 30 pounds, fluctuate here and there. I'm talking about like
you can't get it up anymore.
Yeah, when it's not attractive anymore. To me, that's at a certain point. It's uncomfortable to have that conversation first off, and it's hard to like when there's certain things that you do that you can't take back.
I agree with
when
you.
you change and let me finish this. There's certain things that you can do that change the frame in which you're viewing your partner in. That's hard to get back out of that.
Yeah.
And I think that we have a certain responsibility to make sure that we don't put our partner in that situation.
I agree with you. The only part that I don't like is people can find a way to not be attracted to you deeper than things you can control.
Correct.
So like, let's say you don't have hair anymore.
Yeah.
But when I met you, you had a lot of hair. I used to cut your hair. I used to fade you up.
Yep.
So imagine if she's like, I don't even like bald guys anymore. Like he's giving Neo vibes.
Nothing I could do about that. At that point, that was never the right person for me. Because at that point, that has nothing to do with the choice that I made or something that I could control. So I think those are different. This relationship was built off of flimsy stuff. I'm talking about this is a healthy relationship. Like, I love you for all the right reasons. But now you've put me in a situation where I'm not attracted to you anymore.
But we're talking
Attraction
about
is
physical attraction.
Attraction is attraction. To his point, hair could be part of that.
Sure.
I personally, again, my opinion.
Offend him.
I don't like men with long hair.
Oh.
I'm not attracted to men with long hair. I'm just not. If you're, I mean, I like.
But you would have never been attracted to that man that had long hair.
But my thing is that if I'm with somebody and he starts growing his hair out,
right,
we gonna have a problem.
Sure,
because I can't get it up for a man with long hair. I just can't. I'm sorry,
hope you can't get it up for anybody. What you getting up, first of all, and secondly,
we're putting that in air quotes.
I'm just kidding,
sir. But what I'm saying is, like, I can't. Like, it's not gonna turn me on. You see what I'm saying? But if I'm in a relationship with a man and he starts growing his hair out and it gets to a certain point where it's a little shaggy, I'm gonna look at him and be like,
But don't you think that's something he would have known? You guys would have talked about initially.
Of course.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, then if he grows his hair out, even knowing that that's gonna affect you in a certain way, that's on him. That's selfishness. That's like an inherent reason why a relationship shouldn't work out. Because at this point, you know this is something that you're not compromised. You're disregarding me completely, right? What I'm saying, and so I'm trying to get to a certain point, and I feel like everybody's trying to like Neo them way out of this conversation. There's a specific thing that I'm asking.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm
sometimes
gonna bring up
you
a
can't
point.
help weight. Weight is a very different thing because sometimes people gain weight for very different reasons. Some of those reasons are emotional. Some of those are physical. You know, you're pushing a lot of those other rationales out in order to be
even
like,
those
this
things,
is. I don't agree with the selfish part. Is I think that's where we disconnect.
I still think it's selfish.
Let me ask you this question: do you know what the big chop is?
No.
Okay, it's when women cut, like, they typically have like longer hair.
I'm gonna
go ahead, give
stop
it to
you
me.
there and give you the correct. So a lot of Black women back in the day used to always get like relaxers. So get your hair straightened, chemically straightened. Over the last like 15, 20 years, it's been more naturally accepted within like the mainstream of a Black woman wearing her natural hair. So what happens is a lot of times women, what they'll do is the big chop. So they'll grow their hair out so they won't get another like relaxer or perm. And then they'll cut off all their hair and wear only their natural hair, which means it ends up being very short because sometimes you have like a little teeny tiny fro. There's an awkward phase it's like just as if you would grow your hair out. There's an awkward phase between, you know, looking weird and not. That's where you're coming from. Continue.
I asked that question because there's always that conversation of guys that don't like women with short hair. And that technically is something that they could avoid. Like, you could talk to them and be like, I do not like women with short hair.
Sure.
And she's like, perhaps she's saying, either I want to fix my damaged hair or I just want to cut my hair. Right. I just want to I want to get, what do they call it? A pixie cut?
Yeah.
Something like that. And that's how she feels like she likes it.
Sure.
So if she does that, would you consider that being selfish because you don't like that shortcut?
I mean, at a certain point, I don't necessarily think, because I guess it depends on the reason. If it's like, hey, I want to fix my hair and I'm going to grow it out and all that kind of stuff, yeah, that's fine. Obviously, there's a phase in that. It's not like you could just grow it out. If it's like, if it gets to a point where I'm not physically attracted to her type of thing, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like she's rocking a Jada or something.
I I think that those type of things aren't like make or break physical attraction.
Oh, okay.
But for a lot of people, there are.
It could be, and in that case, then yeah, it could be that. What I'm trying to say is, I think there's a certain, like, even if it's emotional, whatever the cause is, I think us as a responsibility we have to our partner when it's a situation where it's two, there are certain things that are responsibility that we just can't allow ourselves to get to a certain point, regardless of what that is. If it is an underlying cause, we have to fix that underlying cause before it gets to a point where it affects our partner in that drastic of a way, is what I'm saying. Now, that's why I think it's just as similar as addiction, just as similar as any of those things. Like those things we have to be able to fix before it gets to a point where it's drastically affecting a relationship. Because to me, you're putting your partner in a situation where it's like it's testing them in a way that didn't need to be tested, kind of thing. And I think it's unfair and kind of selfish to expect our partners to be able to just stick it out, kind of thing. Because and when I say it's a little bit selfish, then it's like if that guy breaks up with her, the way people are gonna look at him, because if the only reason is I'm not attracted to her, she got too fat, the way he would get trashed for saying that, because that is the only reason. He still loves everything else is great, but he's just not physically attracted to her. The way he's gonna get trashed is like crazy. You're so shallow, like all this, like all that kind of stuff. But in my mind, he should have never been put in that situation. It's on her for getting to a certain point where he has to even think these things.
That's where we part.
That's fine.
And honestly, if he breaks up with her for that reason, that is what it is. People value different things in relationships. There's things that people can deal with versus what they can't deal with.
Sure. I agree with that. I found it kind of interesting because I had dealt with the real life situation of that too on the cruise. The guy was like, he definitely isn't attracted to his wife anymore, but they have 2 kids, they have a great life together, all that kind of stuff. And I just saw him frustrated with the fact that she's not the way that she used to be, type of thing.
I have a question for you. How many relationships do you think are still together because they're too lazy or they have too many things intertwined to just give up? What percentage of all relationships, of everybody who was coupled and paired off,
like they're not happy?
That like where
relationships, if, marriage and non-marriage.
If they weren't, it doesn't matter. Married, not married, what have you. If they were presented with the choice of, if it was easier for you to end this and you weren't afraid to be alone, would you still be here?
Well, probably a significant percentage.
I say more than half.
I say about 80%.
Yeah, probably.
Majority, yeah.
About 80%. But I say that as if there are free-flowing quintiles. Because I think that what that means is what that means is like I put everybody in these 4 different spaces.
Okay.
Where it's like one person's happy, the other one is not. The other person is happy, the other one is not. The other one is both people are happy at the same time, and the last one is nobody's happy at the same time. And I think that it goes inside of that graph, over and over. So it's always free flowing. At one point in time, everybody's happy. One point, no one. So I think that 80% of the time, people are always kind of in one of those 4 buckets, or really one of those 3 buckets. There's at least one person who's unhappy. And then 20% of the time, which is also free flowing, both people are happy and they want to be there and they like it. So I think the ultimate challenge of relationships is the fact that most times you probably don't even want to be in it. Like if you think about it, I listened to Michelle Obama say...
I was just thinking about that.
She said for 10 years, I did not like it. 10 years.
For you, it was a decade.
Yeah, 10 years. I'm like, 10 years is a long time.
She did not like that man for a whole ass decade.
As far as like the age of the kids, like imagine just having a kid who your mom and dad did not like each other from the day I was born to when I was in like 6th grade or something. It's 5th grade. That's a long time. But she still had to battle through that. And I've heard other people on the internet. Dave Ramsey talks about. He goes, "I've been married for 40 years and I had 30 good ones." And it's like
it's big in my culture too. Like I just saw this this graph that talked about like divorce rates, and India is like the lowest. It's like 1%.
Wow.
Like significantly lower. There's nothing even close to India, but it's because marriages are thought of in a different way, and I'm sure that's going to start changing.
But that's also like class dynamics and things like that.
Not necessarily
like,
class. It's just like a cultural thing. But and I think that'll change with time as generations are changing and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of relationships are just there's nothing else, like because of certain things, like that's just what you do, like you just stay together.
I feel like there is to a certain point, there is a direct correlation with women's ability to be independent versus how many relationship, like what divorce rate looks like and what it looks like from like just marriage rate in general. Because to what you said before, you were like, studies show that single women are happier and live longer on average versus married men live longer than single men. And single men are a lot less happy than married men are.
For a specific amount of time.
Yeah, for a certain amount of time.
Like in age groups, I mean.
Yeah. But in that sense, I would say it all depends on like how committed you are to being in a relationship.
It says single women were more happier?
Oh, yeah.
In a specific age group.
For a certain age group.
Yeah. It's older, like 30 to 45.
No, older like single women are happier than older single men. And older single women. Oh. Yeah, and older single women live longer than married men do. Or
it's going for women versus men?
So single women that are older, on average, are happier, period.
Then full stop. Married women of the same age?
Yes.
And everybody.
By a lot. By like double or triple. Single women just much better off, feel like. Happier, more content with their lives.
What's considered happier? Just they're saying they're happier? Like, how do you define who's happier?
That I don't know.
Probably a survey or something. Yeah. Scale of 1 to 10, whatever.
Or how content
that type
they
of
are
stuff
with
is
them.
like.
Why do you not believe that?
Why single women are that?
Like single older women are happier than married women.
I'm not saying that I don't believe that. That's shocking to me.
Why is it shocking to you?
I think because the same reason I would say even if it said single men are happier than men in a relationship, I would say that I would be shocked at that too, because I think that there's a different level of happiness that can be unlocked only when you're in a secure relationship. So I could see people in the wrong relationship, like an unhappy relationship, being happier when they're single, but I would take like a happy, like I would say somebody who's in a very happy relationship is happier than somebody who's single and not in a relationship. That would be my opinion. So if the stats are saying something different than that, that would be shocking to me.
But I guess my question though is that like, why like women in relationships on average are not as happy, right? Because we have that correlation. So women who are in relationships are not as happy. However, married men live longer than single men. And then when it comes to happiness, I believe that single men are a lot less happy than married men. Like it's a very interesting correlation in that sense, right? Of married women or women in relationship not being as happy than women that are not.
You sent us this? Is that the PBD thing?
That's babies.
Yeah.
Women who have babies.
Explain.
So it was saying that there was an age group of women that are happier without being married and having babies. But the older they get, it's essentially kind of like the more they regret not having kids.
Yeah, I don't think that you're talking about a different.
She's talking about happiness.
Yeah, that's not
single. We're not talking about the baby part.
Okay.
Yeah, but she's talking about just the relationship part.
What study was that though? Did you send that to us?
I did send that to you. That was on the PBD thing.
Yeah, so she's talking about a different,
totally different thing.
Yeah, so what you're talking about is different from what he was saying.
So what are you saying?
No. I was bringing up a slightly different thing. This is what we were talking about earlier, not in this conversation. I was saying that women who have babies and are in relationships are unhappier first and then they're happier later. But I think the age group was like 25 to 45, something like that, 30 to 45. They are happy and thriving, no kids, no relationship, the numbers were higher for who proclaim themselves to be happier as far as women go. But you're talking about just relationships, not the childbearing aspect. So yeah.
I mean, it is the same shit because they're still not happy. Kids or no kids, married women.
Married women?
No, the thing that I read that you said was they felt like they were happier, and then they regret it. They realized that they weren't as happy as they thought they were.
Single women.
Yeah.
No.
That didn't have kids. That's the thing that he was talking about. So I don't know what stats you're talking about.
No, that I don't know if that is
that
anecdotal.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think all these
I don't
things
think that
are
the numbers.
because-
I don't think that the numbers net out for that for women who don't have kids.
So do you think it's better off for women to just kind of be single forever?
No. I don't think that that's the case. I think it's to each your own, and that's the thing about like being able to like demonizing it in that sense. Because like, do you feel as though, or do you feel differently about an older woman who doesn't have kids versus an older woman who does have kids?
What do you mean by feel different?
Like, is there any sort of like, for example, if you meet a woman who's like 45, like on this cruise, for example, you meet this like hot woman, good looking, attractive woman, genuinely happy, there with her friends, single woman, 45, no kids. And then she's there with all of her friends. Do you feel as though, like, do you look at her any differently when you realize that she's single and she doesn't have any children than you would just regularly?
I don't think I'd have any kind of view or feeling strongly either way.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I'm not sitting there just judging, oh, you're 45 and you're single and you don't have kids. Like, I mean, I would, but if your question to me is, if it was asked, like, do I feel like she's happier that way, or would she be happier in a happy relationship with a husband or whatever, a happy relationship, whether that's male or female, and all that kind of stuff? I personally, and it would be the same for a single man that's 45, single with no kids and all that kind of stuff. I personally think, and this is coming from somebody who's single and all that, I'm super content. I do whatever I want. I know I feel like I will be happier if I was in a healthy relationship. It's a level of happiness that could be unlocked that I will never be able to get on my own.
Right. But you also said that like most people in relationships are unhappy. And most people in relationships are unhappy and they're not starting over because they're either afraid or too lazy to start over.
But that's why I put it in that box of
you see what I'm saying? Like,
well, you're right, but that's why I put it in that box of like every day somebody feels a little bit different. Yeah, you're probably gonna find on an average day, most people are like, I wish I wasn't in this thing. But then it, like, you know how guys versus women are when they go through a breakup. What happens to a guy as soon as they break up with a girl? They feel liberated, right? They feel like, oh man, I'm so happy.
Depends on why the breakup was.
Yeah, but on average, if she was getting on your nerves or whatever, like
if they broke up with her,
yeah, if they broke up with her, like the first 2 months, he's outside. Then there comes the late night creep thoughts where you're like, man,
you get lonely and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe I should have. Yeah,
but see,
it is usually delayed for men. Like the post breakup trauma.
Yeah, because they're happy to get out of that,
but
they don't realize
comparing it to the wrong things. Like that's what I don't understand. So like unhappy relationship to a single person, if you compare their levels of happiness, the single person is probably going to be happier than the unhappy relationship. But we're comparing it in that situation to like an unhappy situation. A single 45-year-old person compared to in a very happy relationship 45-year-old person, my money would be on in the relationship, happy relationship person is at a far level of happiness than that 45-year-old single person.
I hear you. I think my point is that most of these people who have relationships are fucking miserable to begin with. And the reality of the situation is that we do this thing where we value coupledom over being by yourself.
Sure.
And because you value coupledom,
you settle.
You decide that you don't want to be single and you either are afraid to be single or you think that you're going to be judged or what have you.
It's an unhealthy reason to be in a relationship.
And that's my point. My point is that I really wish that we would accept people for being alone for an extended period of time and looking for the right person as to just looking for a person.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. I thought that study was, the point was that people are happier alone than in a relationship.
No.
I think they're happier alone than in a bad relationship, but I do think that happy in a happy relationship is a different level of happiness than a single person.
I do think that we need to reevaluate gender roles in relationships. And I think that's part of the reason why women with children, with young children, are unhappy, is because a lot of the work and the onus
Sure.
is on them. There was
I agree with
a
that.
video on like or Twitter, I want to say, of a divorce lawyer that was like every single
TikTok.
was it TikTok somewhere where he was like, most of these divorces I see is because the wife she's working, she's taking care of the kids, she's cleaning the house, she's doing all the work, and she looks over to her husband and he's like, what the fuck are you here for? Now, mind you, I'm paraphrasing, but literally looking at him like, what is your whole ass major function in this bitch other than just like giving me fucking babies and then taking your ass to work? Like, if she's doing all of the fucking work, she might as well be alone.
Sure.
And I think that a lot of men right now feel like, you know, in that sense, that frustration, because a lot of women are like, what is your point? But what's the point of you being here in this relationship if I'm going to do all of the fucking work? And there are a lot of men who don't look at their relationships in that sense, but that's a lot of basis for a lot of divorces and part of the reason why women are unhappy. And even Michelle Obama went into that same thing of like, so you're going to play golf and when will you be back and with whom? And so you're not going to watch, and men get like, oh, I watch the kids. Like, okay, motherfucker, they're your children. They have half of your DNA. You didn't watch your own fucking children, but at the same time, like, women can't do the same thing. There's that double standard in relationships where I feel like a lot of women aren't having that shit anymore, in the sense of like, no, you need to be able to pull your weight. You need to be able to be in this relationship the same way that I'm in it. And it comes again, the problem with relationships, and I can only speak for myself from like single woman perspective, is that again, I come with my whole self. I want you to come with your whole self.
Right.
And then we can do this shit together. I agree with you. I would rather have somebody to like fucking split these bills with, or somebody to like help me walk the fucking dog, or, you know, somebody to
or
like
be there just to
wash
talk
the dishes
to
or to like, you know, watch the favorite show with, or what have you. That would be
create
amazing. It would be fantastic.
Right.
But what I won't do,
settle
that part, or do it with someone who isn't a fully functional human being and an adult.
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, that goes to a different point of just like, are people finding like, or basing relationships off the right things? So, you know, I think a lot of people go off of superficial stuff, or like, this person gives me this kind of whatever, instead of like the actual stuff that matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we could always look at it depending on what we're comparing it to. But ultimately, I think the most happy people are people that are in a healthy relationship, have that companionship and all that kind of stuff. Because no matter how old you are, 45 and single, all that kind of stuff, there are still nights where you're just like, man, I hate waking up by myself. I hate not having somebody to talk to right now. I'm feeling really down right now. It'd be really nice to have somebody that would like ask me how I'm doing. You know what I mean? Or not feel like I need to like go out there and seek attention. Like all of that kind of stuff, I think is there for at any level. Now, if you compare it to somebody who's getting abused, or somebody who's like dealing with all these kids and they felt like they're not getting support from their spouse, then absolutely, you would much rather want to be on your own, because now you don't have that responsibility to somebody else. But
I think that single women, though, especially older single women, have more well-rounded lives.
I still think that they're lonely.
And that, but everybody's lonely.
That's what I'm saying.
People in relationships are lonely.
Not in happy relationships.
No, even people in happy relationships can be lonely sometimes. Loneliness is a feeling.
Sure.
You can feel that way sometimes. Like, people can feel lonely. Do people feel lonely more so than others? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
However, single women, and I will, again, another hill that I will die on, older single women have more well-rounded lives. They have hobbies. They have than female friends. They have, I would even say, like, married women with children for the most on average, because
there's nothing holding you guys back.
But we, again, having a more, so like if I, have I don't even have an example, but like I have friends that I can call to help me through things. And every single aspect of my life isn't valued on one thing. I think and again, it's about who has that level of where the onus is of actually doing the work of raising the children and doing the things and typically that lands on the woman, which means she has less room to do other things or have more other aspects of her life outside of that.
But do you think that's because you're single or that's because you're just well balanced? Because I know single women that are ultimately career oriented and they just focus on their career and they're not happy. Not because they're not with somebody, but it's just like they're not having the whole balance that you're talking about.
But then that means you need to explore that. You need to explore other ways and other outlets.
But what I'm saying is it the single aspect or is it just your understanding? Because you obviously come from a perspective that, there needs to be balance. There needs to be equality. There needs to be all this kind of stuff. I think you would search for that even if you were in a relationship.
I mean, I think every human does, right? But
I don't think every human does. That's
every human should search for that level of balance.
But what I'm saying is like, I don't think that's because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying that most single women, because they're single, they're like that. I don't think it's necessarily the singleness that makes them that way. I think it's the person. I think women are naturally more mature than men. I think women naturally I
think that's a misnomer, but I think it's a misnomer. It's a misnomer and it's a stereotype based in misogyny. Whereas like you give little boys the opportunity to be dickheads because boys will be boys. But when little girls do the same thing, you check that shit immediately. So it's a very much ingrained thing within society itself. If a little girl is running around, taking her shirt off and rolling around in the dirt, they stop that. They nip that shit in the bud immediately. But then you don't really nip that shit in the bud if it's a little boy doing the same thing. So that to me is very much a sense of like what those like gender roles need to be and how they're played out, which is why you have that conversation with women in marriages doing most of the work and how that is now.
So then what would you talk about
leading to divorce more so?
Because you said older women have more well-rounded lives than men.
Than single men, I think.
Okay, so then what would you attribute to that if it's not some kind of gender differences?
Again, it has a lot to do with like the way that a lot of different men and women operate in their lives and what those expectations are within society itself, right? Like,
so that we even talked about like misogyny, but my state was based in misogyny.
No, I'm saying that it is based in misogyny to a certain extent, right? Like, and we need to grow, like, ingrain ourselves out of it, right? Mm-hmm. We need to train ourselves out of looking at it in that way, of having more, again, well-rounded relationships and looking at other aspects of the life. That's new to me. Like, I spent a large portion of my life and my career picking my life and my career over a relationship or a man or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't regret it. And I actually am better off for it in my personal opinion. But my goal in my recent life is to make sure that I do have a more well-rounded life, that I do have a better work-life balance where I'm focusing on like friendships and other things, but that doesn't necessarily have to do with romantic relationships. Like my thing is that I like my ability to be good and be happy just within myself. Like I don't want to rely on another human being for my happiness because that's not fair to that other person. That's a responsibility that I shouldn't have to put on them. That I need to be able to be responsible for myself. For sure. And then again, fully functional whole human being getting together with another fully functional whole human being and being able to go through life together. There are a lot of relationships and marriages that have nothing to do with like sex. It's just because they're best friends and they decided that they wanted to live lives together. Mm-hmm. So that piece is fine. I think a lot of men within, again, built-in misogyny and that kind of thing feel as though, they don't have any male friends or they don't have as many male friends or a lot of their male friendships are superficial in that way. And they're looking for women to fill that gap. And it's like, no. And it goes back to what another conversation we were having off air about men and women having the ability to be friends. And whether or not men and women can be friends without sex or anything involved. Because again, you're looking at each other as human beings and not as like equipment or not as like a potential partner.
Mhm.
I have amazing male friendships that I value that give me perspective, then I appreciate, love, and cherish.
Mhm.
And I think, again, that goes back to like just who you are and how you live your life and what you value. I think values are more important than anything in this conversation. And essentially that's what it boils down to. It's a conversation about what you value and what you will and won't do, or like what you are and are not willing to do in your life.
With that being said, Chris and I have to go to In-N-Out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta go.
This was a very good conversation. It's always good to get everybody's point of view. But of course, as you know, if you're listening to this episode on YouTube, drop us a comment, leave us a like for the algorithm. It really, really, really does help a lot. If you're listening to this clip somewhere else, audio only, leave us a 5-star review and tell all your friends to listen to this podcast. Danielle, thank you so much for coming onto the show. You're exactly what I was expecting you to be.
I don't know what that means, and I don't know what the backlash is going to look like, or
There's gonna
what
be no
have you.
backlash. There's gonna be no backlash. You're gonna get
comments.
well, leave a comment so that Danielle could see it. All right.
No, don't. It's fine.
Don't leave a comment so that she could see it. Leave it
Yeah.
so that I could see it. With that being said, y'all, thanks for joining us at the Red Table. Just kidding. Thanks for coming to the
Ew.
Men on the Internet podcast with Danielle. See you next time.
Thanks for listening. If you like what you saw, please make sure to subscribe to us on Instagram at MOI Podcast. And please check us out on our YouTube channel by searching Men on the Internet Network.